Yeah, my blacksmithing right now is a level 19, and there's no point in upgrading my metalworking. I have 3 out of 9, but I'm only level 28, and I think that auriculum goes to 30. So at first I thought that the leveling system was really whack for blacksmithing. I thought that it was like if I'm a level 19 in blacksmithing, I should be a level 19 in the actual game. But in reality, I didn't take into consideration the veteran rank
Yeah.
because that's an extra 10 levels and now 12 that you have to cover, and you're gonna level up to 50 if you're doing deconstructing. You'll level up to 50 by the time you're veteran rank 2 if you're really sticking to it.
Well,
And if you really want to
yeah.
power through it, you should be there before the veteran rank. So at first I thought it was a little overwhelming. I thought that it didn't level up fast enough, but when I realized that there was more than 50 levels on the actual character, and that if you're level 15 in smithing, you can make level 30 gear. So it really, I feel like that was just a bad complaint of mine, and that I think it is where it should be as far as that. And
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's
I like
perfect.
the
I think. Yeah, the
yeah,
the crafting's easy, and it's fucking easy to level. It's free to level, and it's all balanced well. Because obviously, like I say, even if you fucking got it 50, you won't be able to wear the gear yet, sort of thing.
yeah,
So.
exactly. What's the point of crafting level 45 gear if you're level 10? Like I don't understand. Like there's no point.
But
So
I think it's also like in terms of there's a lot of skill points to invest in the crafting. That's another thing to take in consideration, because if it's your first character, like when I was doing my Templar, you've got all your weapons, your classes, your racial, plus all your crafting abilities. So you've really got to think, yeah, even if you're leveling your crafting up very well, you've got fucking like a bajillion things to place on, like skill points to place on your metalworking. There's 9 alone for metalworking. Well, actually 8
yeah.
because it comes with 1. But you know, it's a lot of shit. So that's kind of things you need to take in consideration. Like you want a lot of things. You want your hirelings. You want your aspect. You want your extraction, so you can get the better kind of things when you deconstruct something. But it's good because you got to choose. You got to think. Yeah, I really want this skill, but I really want to get this, and it's fucking yeah. So yeah, the crafting is very good because there's a lot of stuff you got to invest into it to make it actually viable.
Mm-hmm. And if you have multiple characters and you have one character set to crafting, I think you're good. That's something we were talking about yesterday, is that your first character, make that the one you grind with, because if you only specialize in one thing on your first character, like if you just want to do heavy armor, and you sit here and you're wasting time researching for 7 days at a time for heavy armor, why don't you just do everything at the same time? I have light armor, medium armor, woodworking, all researching at the same time. So when I make my second character, I don't have to wait 7 days again. I can just hop onto this guy, make him some gear, and put it back onto my second character or my third character. So
No,
that's definitely something.
good point. Yeah, definitely, because it'll save you. Because like saying we were talking way early on in the video that it takes fucking like forever days to get a lot of traits research. So if you obviously by the time you've done your first character and say he's like become the master crafter, when you moved on to your second character, it's just whatever you get, just stick it all in the bank, and then get your main out, pull all the stuff out, see if you can research it, see if you can deconstruct stuff, and then you can just make your second guy his gear with the better traits on, so that way you can save all the skill points, all the deconstructing. Your main guy can do that, and it'll save you a lot of fucking about having to redo the exact same things. Plus you can carry on researching to try and get all maxed out gear, because like I say, it takes like half a year to get a full set fucking eight traits, and you'll never spend half a year on one character. If you do, that's fucking serious dedication on that character.
Yeah, for real. That's a lot.
But how do you think for the longevity of this game, like how do you think it's going to go? Obviously a lot of people say about the free to play, or do you think this game's got good enough, like is ZeniMax good enough for the updates and upgrades to keep people paying and happy with everything they're doing so far with the fixes and stuff?
Well, I think that the game will eventually be free to play, but I don't think it'll be in the next year. I think in 2 years maybe. I think when they have a ton of updates, they'll have the initial purchase fee, and I think they should be fine with that. And I think that it'll be free to play, but I don't think right now it should be. I think that with as much as they're updating, as much as they're fixing, and the time they're putting into it, that I have no problem paying the initial $60 for it, and then my monthly subscription fee. I think that it's well merited right now because the game is still being fixed and you're getting, whereas other MMOs like World of Warcraft, if you buy the game, you have to buy all the expansions. This game, the expansions come with it, and they're constantly. I feel like if they're, as long as they're putting in the work and they're upgrading it constantly and making sure things are working correctly, that the subscription fee should cover everything. And I think they're doing a good job with that because, like they added Craglorn, they're going to add another expansion here soon, and it's all going to be included. You don't have to buy it in addition to the game, and that's one thing I really like because I hate these. You pay a monthly subscription fee, you buy the game, and then you have to buy the DLC. Like that's just too much. Like I'm gonna be broke by the time that this game gets to be 2 years old. And like I really feel like if you're gonna do a game, do it right and use the monthly subscription fee to make your game better. And they're definitely doing that.
Yeah, that's a good point about the expansions, because you think the game's out 2 months and then it got Craglorn expansion already. You know, it weren't even out that long, and you can see on the map when you come out, you can actually see they save so much free space for extra add-ons. There's at least 10 more zones they can put on at least, and that's obviously their plans. That they show all the islands and they show the whole map as it is, so you can sort of semi-guess what's going to be there, how big things are going to be, and you know, so they will keep pushing. And I do assume each zone will be an extra 2 veteran ranks sort of thing, so it's not so much of a huge level jump, like an extra 10 levels and it's fucking like a forever grind. It's just like something else to fucking add on and chip away at. So that's why I think they're just doing sort of semi-small zones, just so it's regular without a huge break, so it justifies obviously the amount of fixes, the content they're sorting out for everyone, trying to get, because there were so many bugs to start with the game. And if you actually look at the first month, how many patches they did, it was fantastic. You know, they fixed so much shit, and the sheer fact that they managed to do all that and keep the server stable with these mega servers. Obviously this is like the first game that's really done the mega servers, and it's been so stable, like never any ups and downs really. And I'm in Australia on the European server, for Christ's sake, and the fact they put on a Craglorn expansion with a whole different variation of like difficulty, dungeons, extra sort of ideas and thoughts gone into it. So it's got a lot of longevity in this game. There's a huge thing that they're going to do, just because you can tell at the map they are going to fill that all eventually. And
that's the crazy thing. This is a huge world, and at first, yeah, they've already added Craglorn, and I think that's the only thing they've added so far, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So yeah, and just to look like the East March and the Rift is what Skyrim almost was. It's still a little bigger than Skyrim, and that game was huge. And then to look and you see Cyrodiil's massive, and then everything else. I don't know. I really enjoy what they're doing with the game so far. So I have no complaints as far as that. The only problem I have is sometimes the little the easy quest, the ones you do just to make a couple gold or just to do something stupid to keep you busy. They get a little boring, but there's no way to really make that any better, because you know how many stories you'd have to write to make all the little miscellaneous quests like interesting. So that's an empty complaint in my opinion. So
like saying, the one thing I like about this is because there's so much lore to back everything up. It helps make the whole world much more like, makes more sense of why this is here. And just because there's hardly anything that backs up how much lore there is to any kind of franchise, and Elder Scrolls seems to have more lore. Like if you ever go to, if you didn't know about it, if you go to I think it's the Imperial Library, and that has like everything, every lore-based thing about Elder Scrolls, and fuck me, you could be there for like a year trying to read up everything. It covers everything, and lore is one of the most thankless jobs that anyone has to do for a game, like because people expect it but don't really appreciate it as much. And there's over all the years, they've fucking got so much crazy lore about everything, and it helps make the world feel alive. There's a reason for this to be there. There's a reason for these like bosses to be kicking off. There's a reason for everything going on, because of everything sort of dates back to what era, and sort of trying to mix it all up. So yeah, I think there's a lot of longevity to this, because they've got the whole world, they've got the lore for it, and they've got the fan base for it, and I think it's worth every penny. I mean, I think, is it $15 a month? So that means English money is like 8-9 quid a month sort of thing. So I think it's worth that for 30 days of play.
Oh, is it? It's only like 9 quid for you, or
Yeah,
£9?
because it's like 60p to the dollar or something like that. So
Yeah, no,
so it's roughly like £8-9 a month. So that's like buying a sandwich and a Coke kind of thing or something. So it's worth that for 30 days play.
That's an expensive sandwich.
It's a triple meal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually
Actually,
actually a McDonald's. Then it's the same as buying a McDonald's.
Is McDonald's that expensive over there?
Depends what you get in.
Gee, yeah, but $15 at McDonald's in America, that buys you the entire menu.
That's why that's why you got the obesity crisis.
Yeah, that's why we're so fat over here, man.
gotta stick to the stereotype.
You know they have what people actually use to measure how currency's like doing and the differences in currency. It's called the Big Mac Index. It's what the Wall Street Journal and a lot of other big financial companies and across the world use to measure how currency is doing, is how much a Big Mac costs in each individual country. It's legit. Google it. It's called the Big Mac Index. It's pretty crazy. Just to get off topic for a second, but it's hilarious that they have the price of a Big Mac in like 400 different places, and that's how they measure how currency's doing versus each other. I think it's really fun.
I'm going to Google that later. That just sounds generally interesting.
I kid you not. I learned about that in my marketing class. I was pretty dumbfounded to see that I thought it was a joke. The Big Mac Index is a real thing and it's respected. So that's kind of funny to play on the stereotype.
I am actually generally going to Google that later. But is there any other subjects you think you're talking about before I think we should be wrapping this episode up. Like we'll split this up into a couple because I'm gonna
edit this down a bunch probably because there was into little segments. So
yeah.
I mean, I have a couple things that I wrote down, and I pretty much covered them all. So I'm pretty much going. I'm getting hit in the back here by a spider, but
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. I get so sidetracked when I talk, so I can't talk and play very well at the same time. I can only attempt to do one. So
that's proper male. That's what that is.
Yeah, I can't multitask. I get really that's one of my problems when I do Let's Plays too. Like I can't. Holy crap, that was a sweet little loot there. But yeah, I have problems talking fluidly and playing well at the same time. So sometimes I get a little stupid. But
yeah, so
I'm good.
Yeah.
If you want to end it here and then we can edit it up.
Then we can split it into four segments. It's going to be the perfect hour, so we can split it into 15-minute segments. Yeah, because I think next time we'll talk about character classes, perks, passives, and we'll go more into the skills and stuff like that. Skills, perks, everything like that.
Yeah, what we did right now was kind of more of just a freestyle per se. Of just talking about the game. We didn't really have a really specific structure for this first little chat.
Yeah, it's more just our experiences and thoughts.
Yeah, and so we might have to make certain parts longer and certain parts shorter. So I don't know. I think it'll work out, and I'll edit it up. I don't know if you're going to use just the straight footage, but I'm probably going to cut it down into little segments on what I think is the most important and such. So.
Now I'm just gonna what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna split into 4 and just call it part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4.
Fair enough. So if you want to watch the full conversations, you can head over to his channel. If not, check it out anyway. He's worth a subscribe. He's got a bunch of cool things, especially if you're into MMOs and especially ESO and Pokemon and all that stuff. So check out his channel, and I guess that'll be the first sort of chat that we have. Thoughts on ESO episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you very much. And I'll look forward to our next conversation. So thank you guys for listening as well. And I'll see you all on the next one. Definitely.
Yeah. Take it easy.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right.